In a world where every major automaker is in a frenzied race to stake their claim in the electric vehicle market, Mazda's CEO Masahiro Moro recently dropped a bombshell. Mazda will not be introducing more EVs. This revelation not only stunned industry experts and enthusiasts alike, but also diverged sharply from the prevailing trend. Many global automakers have committed significant resources towards electric mobility. Tesla, with its Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Model Y, has taken the world by storm, transforming from a Silicon Valley startup to a behemoth that has forced traditional giants to rethink their strategies. Volkswagen, after its infamous diesel scandal, has embarked on a redemption journey with its ID series of electric vehicles. Ford's Mach-E is reviving the Mustang's legacy in the electric world. Even luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz, with its EQ range, and Audi with the e-Tron, have made clear their intent to embrace an electric future. Against this backdrop, Moro's announcement may seem not just contrarian, but almost rebellious. One could argue, however, that this move aligns with Mazda's history of defying industry norms. Remember the rotary engine? At a time when most automakers were focused on traditional piston-driven power plants, Mazda dared to be different. Their commitment to this unique engine type brought them both admiration and criticism. In a similar vein, their recent decision about EVs could be seen as yet another testament to their unyielding commitment to following their own path. However, it's crucial to understand that Mazda isn't completely distancing itself from the concept of cleaner, more sustainable transportation. Instead, they are exploring a blend of solutions. Moro hinted at the possibility of Mazda developing hybrids and plug-in hybrids. This isn't a novel idea in the industry. Toyota, with its best-selling Prius and a slew of other hybrid models, has for years thrived in this space. Honda's Clarity offers a range of powertrains, from fuel cell to plug-in hybrid, so while Mazda may not be going all in on EVs, they're certainly not sticking to the status quo of internal combustion engines. But why this reluctance to embrace a full electric future? The reasons could be manifold. For one, EV infrastructure is still in its nascent stage in many parts of the world. Charging stations aren't as ubiquitous as petrol pumps, and the rapidity of technological advancements means that the EV of today might be rendered obsolete much quicker than a car from a decade ago. The concerns over sourcing, recycling, and disposing of batteries add another layer of complexity to the equation. Another compelling reason might be rooted in Mazda's brand ethos. The company has always prided itself on the jinba ittai philosophy, which translates to horse and rider as one. This idea underscores every Mazda vehicle's design and engineering, focusing on the bond between the driver and the car. The tactile feedback from a revving engine, the sensation of the gearbox shifting, and the roar of the exhaust are integral to this experience. And while EVs have their own set of exhilarating attributes, they deliver a different kind of driving experience, one that perhaps doesn't align with Mazda's vision of jinba ittai. Mazda's strategy, however, isn't without risks. As countries globally set more aggressive targets to phase out internal combustion engines, the automaker might find itself facing regulatory headwinds. Consumers, too, are becoming increasingly conscious of their carbon footprints. A burgeoning segment of the market is looking for vehicles that align with their environmental values. By not having a diverse range of EVs, Mazda might be turning away a sizable chunk of potential customers. Then there's the matter of competition. As other automakers refine and expand their electric offerings, they are bound to unlock efficiencies of scale, which could in turn make EVs more affordable. If Mazda sticks to its hybrid strategy, it might find itself in a tight spot, competing against cheaper, equally efficient EVs. The automotive market, as history has shown, is ruthless to those who can't adapt. Nevertheless, in the short to medium term, Mazda's approach might resonate with a significant number of consumers. Those who are wary of making the complete shift to EVs due to range anxiety or infrastructure concerns might find solace in hybrids. They offer the best of both worlds: the familiarity of a gasoline engine coupled with the efficiency of electric propulsion. In the labyrinth of the automobile industry, brand identity plays a critical role. Every brand has its own story, its own philosophy. For Mazda, the narrative has always revolved around individualism, around embracing the road less traveled. So when Masahiro Moro pronounced their strategic decision to steer clear of the EV-centric future that most car makers are veering towards, it was, in a sense, Mazda being quintessentially Mazda. Beyond the philosophy, there's also a pragmatic dimension to Mazda's choice. Developing an electric vehicle from scratch requires substantial capital, something that industry titans like Volkswagen or Toyota might have in ample supply. But for a relatively smaller player like Mazda, resources are more finite. By concentrating on hybrids and plug-in hybrids, they can leverage their existing knowledge of internal combustion engines while integrating electric components, thus potentially providing a more cost-effective and efficient transition. Let's not forget the importance of market dynamics. Asia, and in particular, regions like Southeast Asia, where EV infrastructure is still embryonic, might be more receptive to hybrids. These vehicles can function without the necessity for an extensive charging network, making them an attractive proposition for consumers in such areas. In fact, markets like these could be where Mazda finds its sweet spot. Another dimension worth considering is the technology partnerships that have been taking root in the automotive sector. Collaboration, as a means to share costs and expertise, has become a mantra of sorts. Mazda, in this context, has been strengthening ties with Toyota, a pioneer in hybrid technology. This alliance might serve as a bedrock for Mazda's endeavors in the hybrid sphere, allowing them to leverage Toyota's decades of experience. However, it's essential to recognize the evolving nature of the automobile industry. Innovation today is relentless, and consumer preferences are ever shifting. A few years ago, who would have imagined that a company like Tesla, which faced skepticism in its early days, would become more valuable than legacy automakers? In this volatile environment, Mazda's decision to not fully commit to EVs might be their way of keeping their options open, allowing them the flexibility to pivot based on how the industry landscape evolves. It's also worth noting that Mazda's dedication to providing an exhilarating driving experience has won them a loyal fan base. For many, driving isn't just a means to get from point A to point B. It's an experience, an emotion. Mazda's vehicles, from the sprightly MX-5 Miata to the family-friendly CX-5, have consistently delivered on this promise of driving joy. It's conceivable that the brand believes that a complete transition to EVs, at least in the immediate future, might dilute this essence that they've cultivated over the years. Every significant decision in the automobile sector is always a mixture of instinct, data-driven predictions, and the audacity to challenge the status quo. Mazda, throughout its illustrious history, has exhibited a knack for carving out its niche in an industry dominated by giants. Their recent stance on EVs further cements their reputation as outliers, willing to dance to a tune that's uniquely their own. To further unpack the nuances of Mazda's decision, it's important to understand the broader ecosystem of the auto industry. The shift towards EVs isn't just about sustainability or the phasing out of fossil fuels, it's about an entire ecosystem. Battery manufacturers, charging infrastructure providers, software developers for onboard systems, and city planners reimagining urban landscapes with charging points. As larger automakers plunge headfirst into this ecosystem, they're not just investing in cars, they're investing in an entirely new paradigm. Mazda, on the other hand, might be taking a more measured approach. By holding back on full-fledged EV production, they could be waiting for this ecosystem to mature, for the bumps to be smoothed out. It's a bit like being wary of adopting the first generation of a new gadget, knowing that subsequent iterations will have improved upon the initial flaws. By focusing on hybrids, they're not shunning electrification, but merely adopting a more incremental approach. In conclusion, Masahiro Moro's declaration that Mazda won't be diving deep into the EV pool has certainly ruffled feathers and raised eyebrows. It's a bold, distinctive stance in an industry that's rapidly gravitating towards electrification. Only time will tell if this will be remembered as a masterstroke or a missed opportunity. But for now, one thing's for sure. Mazda continues to tread its own unique path, much like it always has. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure the notification bell is turned on so you don't miss a video.